but maybe I'm just misunderstanding this high work of art, and thanks to the media literacy crowd with pronouns in their bios,
The media literacy crowd. So, Gary, if you're not part of the media literacy crowd, are you stating that you're media illiterate? Because if you're stating that, then I agree. Let's go ahead and wrap up our Chud poll, and then looks like Nerdrotic's got the win. A tie between Nerdrotic and Thinking Critical, and I kind of already covered Thinking Critical, I'll be honest. So, and I'll be honest, the what I wanted to look into was Nerdrotic's fucking Red Sonja. I swear, they're the only ones that care about that Red Sonja movie. It looked awful. But I wanted to check out his fucking Alien Earth review because I'm really confused because Alien Earth was kind of brilliant. So I'm like, what are you going to say about it? How are you going to pan it? So, Disney's Alien Earth review. So let's see. Let's see.
Nerdrotic.com.
Friends, I don't think I'm going out on a limb here by saying entertainment has seen better days, and it seems that originality is on life support. To state the obvious, you can look no further than what we've been inundated with over the last half decade. Unnecessary remakes, prequels, sequels, direct sequels, spin-offs, midquels, interquels, intraquels, standalone sequels, paraquels, sidequels, legacy sequels, soft reboots, requels, reboots, spiritual successors, spiritual sequels. Now, what the hell is a stand?
Is he like, yes, franchise movies and franchise media is a big deal. It's always been a big deal, but yeah. Oh God, let me switch this over so you guys can see better. But yeah, it's always been a big deal. Yeah, you don't want to miss any beautiful Nerdrotic videos, so sorry about that. Anyways, yeah, franchises have always been a big deal, and yeah, the studios are less likely to take risk right now because the box office has been down since COVID, so they're more likely to just lean into the franchises that they know will be safer bets. I guess we'll see where he's going. Like he's kind of stating things that are pretty obvious at this point, but let's see.
Standalone sequel? No idea, but let's talk about one more entry into the creative.
I mean, it's worth saying it doesn't mean inherently everything that's part of a franchise will be bad. Like, obviously, Alien Earth, I think is fucking brilliant so far.
Bankruptcy verse. Hell, maybe it'll be good.
Oh, my sweet summer child.
Because it's time for some more Alien, or to be more specific, Disney's Alien.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6.
I mean, yes, Disney did buy Fox, so they do own the rights to Alien, but like it's not like this is like a PG Alien, like that would imply. This is very much a R-rated show.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh no, not again.
The last entry was Disney's Alien Romulus, a film a lot of people liked, but I didn't. I equated it to a greatest hits album done by a horrible cover band. The Gen Xenomorph versus Gen...
Yeah, I thought Alien Romulus was totally decent. So far, I think Alien Earth is way better, but Alien Romulus was solid too.
Gen Z, but this one's going to be totally different because it's Disney's Alien Earth, which is Gen Z versus a Gen Xenomorph, and it's not a movie, it's a...
What? Like, it's in the future. Why are you calling it Gen Z? Like, oh, God damn it.
Streaming series on Hulu, which is soon going to absorb Disney Plus, but renamed Disney Plus because Disney doesn't want to admit that D Plus failed. Now, I can't say my...
If D Plus failed, why would they call the service Disney Plus? If D Plus was the failure, they would just call all of it Hulu and put it all under Hulu. Like that's like what is your argument, Gary? Like if Disney Plus was if they have two streaming services and one of them is a failure, why would you rebrand the old streaming service as the one that was the failure? That makes no fucking sense.
Hopes were high for Alien Earth, but I was at least intrigued because it was going to be written and some episodes directed by Noah Hawley, who admittedly has done some good work with Fargo in the first 2 seasons of Legion. Unfortunately,
that's weird. So season 1 of Legion is brilliant. Season 2 is really meh. I think it's weird that he likes that. And since season 3 was okay, season 3 brought to a reasonable conclusion, but like season 1 was brilliant.
he also made the 3rd and final season of Legion. So are we going to get Fargo Noah Hawley, or
what's wrong with the 3rd season? Like what's so great about the 2nd season of Legion but like sucks about the 3rd season? Because the 3rd season was a step up.
or Legion Season 3 Noah Hawley? But before we even start, we already run into a bit of a problem. Alien
So yeah, not even gonna cover it. Okay.
Romulus was actually a sequel to a prequel and a prequel to a sequel, making it a midquel. Or was it? Technically, it was.
Well, fun fact, Alien Romulus stands on its own, so you can just watch it whenever you want. You don't even have to watch our Alien movies. Knowing where it is in the timeline is nice, but you don't need that. That's more just fan stuff. Alien Earth is the exact same way. You do not need to know where it syncs up in the timeline. It stands completely on its own. You can watch it without watching any other previous entries and just dive right into it and enjoy it. Knowing where it is in the timeline just is like nerd stuff if you're more into the franchise.
An interquel, a type of midquel that bridges the gap.
Bro, you can watch it on its own. Like you're purposely overcomplicating it to make it sound confusing. You can completely watch it on its own. You see, they complain when like there'll be a Marvel movie that has lots of other characters, so you need to watch other stuff to get fully caught up with their stories, which usually you don't even need to do, but like you can. But they'll complain about that. Now here's something that, yeah, it takes place in this big universe, but it's completely standalone, and he's going to overcomplicate, make it sound like it's a pain to dive into this, when you don't. Everything that you need to know is explained in the series. It's so fucking dishonest.
Between 2 previously published stories. For example, a movie that occurs after the first movie.
Do you want to actually review the series at some point instead of discussing the fact that it takes place? So this is like, I don't know, like you can call it an interquel. The only reason it would be an interquel though is because of Prometheus and Covenant. This takes place 2 years before the original Alien movie. It's not that complex. So if you're watching the Alien stuff in order, it's Prometheus, Alien Covenant, this, and then the first Alien movie. It's that fucking simple. It's not even that complex a timeline. There's not that many entries in the Alien franchise.
But before the second movie in the series, Alien Earth is set before Alien, making it a sequel to a prequel and a.
Yeah, that's it. That like you're trying to make it so complex, and it's not that complex. You see, the only things that you need to watch in order, Prometheus and Alien Covenant are part of the same universe, so you should watch those in order. And then Alien and Aliens are following Ripley's story, so you should watch those in order. Alien Earth and Alien Romulus stand on their own. You don't need anything else with them.
Prequel to the original, which would still make it a sequel in this case, making Alien Earth a true midquel, a story set within the time frame of an existing work.
Does he think this is funny? You're supposed to be reviewing it. You haven't even talked about the actual fucking show yet. You're instead defining midquel and interquel like the fuck is this, really? Like, I didn't, like, do people click on Nerdrotic reviews to get his fucking definitions of different movie placements and franchises? Like, the fuck?
specifically between two already published stories or during a time skip within a single work. And based what I saw on the trailer, it looks like they were at least gonna do something different, like finally going to Earth. Hell, maybe this will be loosely based on the excellent comic from Dark Horse, Alien Earth War. And I gotta say, Noah Hawley and Disney are really breaking some ground with this one, because we're gonna see a xenomorph take on something it's never fought before, a skinny brunette woman. To be fair, they tried to...
So you're just going to ignore the fact that she is a hybrid. So she's like, there's a whole story behind the hybrids. And I'll go ahead and go into it because it's pretty much just set up for the series. So it's introduced that there's synths, there's cyborgs, and there are hybrids. And our main cast here are hybrids. They're made by the Prodigy Corporation, and they are actually human beings transferred into synthetics bodies. They are their memories, all that stuff transferred into synthetic bodies. So these are synthetics, but they have human memories. Now, in order for this can only work with children. So these are all children's minds in these bodies. So just saying, like a skinny brunette going up against aliens. I mean, I think it's worth saying that is kind of like a large part of what Aliens does. So sure, but like, she's not just another Ripley. She's not just another whoever Naomi replaced was in Prometheus. I can't remember her character's name, but it's not the same. It's not the same.
Introduce some new things and concepts into the live action Alien.
Yeah, it actually introduced a lot of new concepts, which is one of the things I appreciate. It's expanding the lore, which is fantastic.
Franchise, meaning the movies and now TV show, because they've done virtually all of this in other media. In the text opening the show, mind you, this takes place 2 years before Alien, it explains there are now cyborgs, synths, and hybrids, which are synths with a human consciousness. What about the alien? They didn't mention that in the text. Again.
Because that's explained, like, throughout this series, the characters are learning about the aliens because the characters don't know about the aliens. So they're learning about them, and they're explaining the aliens and they're actually studying them. And they're learning them as the series progresses, and the audience is learning about them as the series progresses. Again, if you know about if you've seen the other Alien franchise entries, you know more than the characters do. But if you haven't, then you just learn along with the characters. It's doing a very good job. Why does he have to overcomplicate this?
And we introduce a new environment, Earth, and they introduce new alien species. And conceptually, I'm down with all of this. I mean, it seems like you're putting too much into an 8-episode series. I think all three of those things would make great individual shows, particularly the one where you're transitioning a human consciousness into a robot body. And call it Blade Runner. Oh, on second thought, considering its current era, don't. Which it's too late because we're already going to get an unnecessary...
Blade Runner 2049 was amazing. Like, the fuck? What? Is Gary's stance is that every franchise thing is bad now? Is that it? Just all franchise stuff is bad? Because I thought he was a comic book fan. Shit, man.
Blade Runner sequel, and once again, there is only one Blade Runner film. Sure.
Nope, there's two. You are absolutely wrong. And in fact, I will go out on a limb once again, as I've done many times, and say Blade Runner 2049 is better than the original. I think the original has some brilliant visuals. I think Rutger Hauer is brilliant in the original. But yeah, Blade Runner 2049, much more enjoyable movie.
There are 3 versions of it, but there's still only one. But unfortunately, so far, that's what Alien Earth is. A robot show guest starring an alien. And those good ideas...
A robot... Okay, so are you not understanding that the robots are characters? You know that robots can be characters. Like this is like complaining like you're watching a Data episode of Next Generation and saying, oh, there's no characters for me to follow because it's a Data episode. You do understand Data's a fucking character, right?
Poets have composed odes to individuals who have had a profound effect upon their lives. In keeping with that tradition, I have written my next poem in honor of my cat. I call it Ode to Spot.
is, well, at least so far in the first 2 episodes, let's just gloss over them. They're not important. No, instead of exploring those good ideas, the showrunners thought it was a better use of their time within the series to have a bunch of malnourished, awkwardly feminine to slightly Canadian twinks slowly walking around hallways and occasionally getting picked off by a xenomorph who's now acting like Michael Myers. And that's what
Okay, they definitely explore this a lot in the series. Yeah, the beginning is definitely like the building, and it's a horror, like it's a horror series. Yes, they will have to deal with aliens, and the aliens are quite scary because it's a horror. It's a entry in a horror franchise, Gary. That's a weird fucking like. Why would you complain about aliens killing characters in an aliens in the Alien franchise? It's such a weird fucking take. Like God damn. Fuck. His reviews are bad.
what's surprising about this.
All his videos are bad. I don't know why I'm shocked, but Jesus, this is shockingly bad.
It's amateurish, sure. The sets look great, just like with Alien Romulus, but unlike that movie, the practical effects are just okay and the CGI is a mess. But what's worse,
Actually, I so far I think the CGI is really solid.
is the directing and the editing.
He's really bad at trying to make it sound bad. Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Noah Hawley tries to imitate Ridley Scott at times, and at other times,
Yeah, no, that's actually, he really gets the vibe of the original Alien quite well. It works really well. So yeah, it's one of those things where if you enjoy the original Alien, yeah, Alien Earth does that vibe extremely well.
it seems like Francis Ford Coppola and fails miserably. But there actually is something worse than that. The exposition and the dialogue, which again, I'm surprised because in the past, Noah Hawley's been pretty good at that. The show starts out introducing you to the crew of the Totally Not Nostromo. No, this is the Weyland-Yutani USCSS Magonaut. And Disney, Fox, FX, Hulu really wanted to remind you this is an alien show immediately, just in case you didn't get it in the title. Remember the computer screen reflection in the helmet?
Oh, I remember.
Remember the hypersleep chamber?
Oh, I remember.
Remember the crew sitting around eating and
Yes, it was to set up the tone. It was very similar to how the original movie was set up. But then very quickly, like it spends a couple minutes on this, and yeah, it was kind of like, man, they aren't just going to copy it, and they aren't, because fairly quickly we move on, because what we see, like with the Nostromo, is that those are our main characters. With the Magonaut, these are not our main characters.
smoking.
Oh, characters smoking. What totally copying. So like anytime like a character smokes, it's copying something else. Like the fuck, bro? That's not a standard.
Remember the two disgruntled working class grunts?
Yeah, I remember that.
Remember Yaphet Kotto?
Okay, Morrow and I can't remember Yaphet Kotto's name, but like you're just saying they're the same because they look similar. Like they're black guys, but like their characters are completely fucking different. Morrow's the fucking villain, bro. Jesus Christ.
What the going on with these member berries?
Turns out the Magaton is returning from a deep space mission, bringing back 5 alien species, including a xenomorph, to Weyland-Yutani. Sure hope nothing bad happens to that ship. And then, by the way,
Dude, I can't believe you are playing Pink Floyd in the background. Fuck you, you are not worthy of fucking Pink Floyd. God damn.
there's a lot of and thens in this. We transition to a child transitioning into an adult robot body.
What?
That's right, Marcy, a terminally ill child, is going to have her consciousness transferred into an adult female super robot that she's gonna name Wendy. Incidentally, the facility they're in is called Neverland. The man who owns it is Mark Zuckerberg. I'm sorry, his name is Boy Cavalier.
Okay, so it's not Mark Zuckerberg specifically. It's pretty much all the rich assholes. He's representing a lot of them. He's definitely an amalgamation character. And he's a piece of shit too.
Who seems to be played like Jesse Eisenberg playing Lex Luthor in Batman vs. Superman, which was a bad imitation of Jesse Eisenberg playing Mark Zuckerberg in Social Network. And
Okay, but it's a different character. And the fact is, that was a bad read of Lex Luthor. Like if they did an original character like that, would probably work better. But that's not Lex Luthor. Boy Cavalier is a completely different character, so it works better. Like he's an original character add to the franchise. He doesn't like it because it's an allegory for trans people. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah.
The wheels on the bus go round and round. Anyway, Boy Cavalier is supposed to be Peter Pan, who owns the Neverland facility with Wendy. You see where I'm going with this? Oh.
Wow. That's amazing, Gary. You notice the blatant and obvious Peter Pan references that they're going for. Yes. All of the kids are named after Lost Boys. That's their code names. It's not their real names. It's their code names. And yes, he's obviously supposed to be the Peter Pan-like character. By the way, the first episode was literally called Neverland. Like, yes, they are definitely drawing comparisons to Peter Pan on purpose. That's not a criticism of the series because it's obviously that's what the series is fucking going for. I mean, holy shit.
And they transfer the consciousness of children into other adult robot bodies and call them the Lost Boys. And just in case you weren't getting the subtle Peter Pan references here, they also make sure to show Peter Pan on the screen and have Boy Cavalier, the Peter Pan in this story, reading Peter Pan to the Lost Boys of this story. Shoo, I wasn't getting...
Wow, Gary, that's so deep. You noticed that they were doing Peter Pan shit. Is that your criticism? Like, God, this is so fucking bad. Like, the point, like, yes, they're obviously drawing comparisons to Peter Pan, and the point is to see what they're doing with it. God damn.
Get it until they did that. Anyway, Wendy and the Lost Boys babysitters are the Synth, Timothy Oliphant, and Science Woman. And if you're wondering why I haven't brought up any names or anything about the Lost Boys, there's nothing to tell. Alls I know is there are a bunch of adults that act like 12-year-olds and they're diverse. Oh, there's plenty.
They are 12-year-olds. They literally are 12-year-olds in the bodies of adults. God, he's using just basic facts about the show to say the show is bad now. Like this is so fucking bad. Jesus.
Plenty of plot in the show, but there is zero characterization. Remember when I...
Zero characterization? So like the fact that like the main Wendy is like attached to her brother, and like obviously these characters have attachments to their past family, but they're not able to contact them. The fact that one of our characters has been kind of taken over by Morrow and being manipulated to do evil things. There's so much characterization. Like the fact that one of them has chosen their name that's not a Lost Boy, by the way. He goes by Isaac, which is actually a pretty cool name. I like the name Isaac. Fuck.
Said I sure hope something doesn't happen on the Maggonaut. Something happened on the Maggonaut. Remember in
Yeah, you are way past the fuck.
Alien, when Ash had Special Order 937, which ensured that the Xenomorph was returned to Weyland-Yutani, even if it meant sacrificing the crew? Well, I'm here to tell you, Alien Earth does something totally different. They have the cyborg, totally not Yaphet Kotto, and totally not the Nostromo, sacrifice the crew to ensure that the specimens are returned to the company.
It's almost like these characters are robots, and they're told that the crew is sacrificial as long as they bring the alien back, and they're following fucking orders. Like when you actually look at it, it makes sense that a lot of this is happening again. And plus, like, he's complaining about something that is pretty much just a setup for the main storyline.
At this point, when he serves up the final crew member with a harrowing acting performance,
Let me in!
we see that the cyborg has...
Okay.
as a Swiss Army arm, and that would make him the Captain Hook of the story. And the xenomorph must be the crocodile. The totally not Nostromo, which is half the size of a Star Destroyer, the size of a Star Destroyer, I don't really know, runs into another ship and then crashes into Earth completely undetected. Yes, apparently humanity...
I mean, you can kind of get an idea of its size. I don't know how much that matters.
is cracked traveling into interstellar space, but they haven't really worked out early warning systems. And I have the same question as you do, dear viewer. Wouldn't that ship the Magaton crashed into notify anybody about it? Anyway, the Weyland-Yutani owned ship ends up going down in a Prodigy.
What evidence do you know that they didn't? Like, do you think they're going to have time to evacuate? Because the impression I got was that this all happens reasonably quickly.
Owned island. Who owns Prodigy? Boy Cavalier. And how do we know this? Through a very carefully placed and subtle exposition scene within the first 5 minutes of the show, where one of the grunts explains to another who exactly he works for. Apparently he was unaware of this despite being on a 65-year mission.
Say that's Weyland-Yutani.
That's us.
Yes, it was done. Yeah. So, well, what he just said, like Weyland-Yutani, and he says that's us. So he knows who he works for. The clip you play literally debunks your point. But yes, this is also him explaining the corporations to him. The one guy's explaining the corporations to the guy. But let's face it, it's really explaining it to the audience.
Yeah, that's who we work for.
Oh, okay.
Right? And they control North and South America. The kid hasn't done his social studies.
There's 4 companies. They govern the entire globe.
Don't forget the new one, Prodigy.
Started by a kid maybe 10 years ago.
Boy Cavalier.
Oh look, the Maganaut crashes into some towers. They should have called it Alien 9/11. And again, this is a complete surprise to everyone in the city, including Boy Cavalier's own security force, who just so happens to have Wendy's brother in it. Joe is...
Why would Weyland-Yutani notify them that it was happening? Weyland-Yutani was trying to get the stuff on that ship. And in fact, part of the storyline is that Weyland-Yutani and Prodigy are kind of warring over what's on that ship, because yes, it's Weyland-Yutani's ship, but Prodigy, it landed in Prodigy territory, and Prodigy is saying, well, it's in our territory, it's ours, and Weyland-Yutani is saying, no, that's our ship, it's ours. That's one of the storylines. Yeah, and it is not, I would not call it Alien 9/11. It's not nearly that. Like, what, does any time like a ship crashed into a building that has to be 9/11? God damn.
a medic for the Prodigy Corporation, and apparently a pretty good one, because we know this through a random exposition scene where Wendy is telling us about him to her stuffed animals.
Well, I'm glad you asked.
By the way, nobody asks her any questions. It comes in cold.
His name is Joe. What does he do? Well, he's a medic, like a doctor.
And Wendy knows all this because she's spying on her brother. Apparently, she has the ability to hack any security system or computer that she's in proximity to. She also has super...
Yeah, that's actually something, that's a side effect that they are kind of trying to figure out as they go. Yes, Gary, that is part of the story.
Strength and durability, and later on we learn that she can...
Yes, she is a synth. As established throughout the franchise, some synths do have that.
Hear the aliens psychically through her synthetic mind. But apparently she never bothered to ask why they were transferring her into an adult body until after the procedure was done.
Your breasts, they're weird. They move around.
That's, so she knew that. But she's just, like, the breast thing is her explaining how weird it is because, you know, it's not something she quite expected.
When I run. Well, you are in an adult body now. Why?
Because synthetic bodies don't grow.
This, once again, is unnecessary exposition, and there's so much of it in this show, it makes Mission Impossible 8...
Unnecessary? Like, how as the viewer are you supposed to know? You, like, listen, if, like, you can complain because you think exposition is ham-fisted, but, like, the existence of exposition is not inherently a bad thing. The audience does need to know certain information to get the story.
Look downright reasonable. Yes, it's...
I mean, they probably will call her Mary Sue, even though she's a very flawed character.
Necessary information told in a horribly lazy way, and forgive me for stating the obvious. You would think young Marcy, before she transitioned into Wendy, would be told all the whys and hows beforehand. And while this is Mystery Box, you think they would give the viewer a little more information about...
Okay, so he's complaining that there's too much exposition. And then he's also complaining that they aren't giving the viewer enough information. How would they give you information, Gary? That's called fucking exposition. Oh, fucking hell. Jesus Christ.
Wendy, or on the other hand, all the other characters, so the viewers would actually be interested in them. The problem with this show is there's a bunch of people I don't know talking to each other. So what's...
Yes, they're developing as the show goes. I believe I think he's talked about probably 2 weeks ago, so this is probably like the first 2 episodes. Yes, there's more development after that. I've seen further than he does.
Alien Earth about? Well, it's essentially a bunch of 12-year-olds.
Listen, Nostalgia Critic isn't a grifter, but he is also not the best critic. There are times where exposition can be very ham-fisted as well. It kind of depends, but like, just having exposition is not inherently a bad thing.
In robot bodies going up against aliens without any training, because Wendy convinces Boy Cavalier that she wants to rescue her brother from his rescue mission. Never mind the fact that Boy Cavalier just essentially invented immortality, and these children are the most valuable things in the known galaxy. This is my...
Yes, and he is criticized for that, but he's like, fuck it, let's see what these things can do. Because Boy Cavalier is... I mean, I guess you kind of have to watch it, but he's a kid. He's like, let's see what this shit can do.
Monumentally stupid, especially when you have battalions of expendable people, something that's been well established in the Alien franchise, and even the show questions it.
They're not first responders. They're still in the prototype.
Yes, it's done to establish what type of character he is, and the fact is that like, as much as these are like experiments that he kind of views as valuable, he actually views what potentially is on that ship as potentially more valuable and is willing to take the risk to see what's on there. That's literally what's explained in the show.
Type stage, the loss of a single unit would be devastating.
And the Peter Pan of our story responds with this.
Yeah, so don't lose one.
So it's a race to contain the aliens. Cyborg Captain Hook needs to contain him for Weyland Yutani, and he needs to do that before Boy Cavalier gets his hands on him, which he eventually finds out about, and sends the 12-year-olds in robot bodies to do it because the Prodigy security team, made up of about 24 people, to search a ship the size of an aircraft carrier crashed into a giant skyscraper, is getting wiped out by the aliens and Cyborg Captain Hook, who, quite frankly, is the most interesting character, and if we were just following him, I'd be more into this show. Again, there's...
Well, he is very much an antagonist, Gary.
Some interesting things introduced in this show that would probably make better shows individually on their own, including the 5 alien species.
Let's be real. He probably would pan it no matter what. Let's be real.
The aforementioned xenomorph, a testicle Venus flytrap, plant, ticks, flies who we haven't seen, and the tentacle eyeball. The jury's still out on them, but other wasted concepts were...
Wasted concepts? We haven't seen the whole series. How do we know these are wasted concepts? If the series concludes and they don't really do anything with all this stuff, then yeah, they are wasted concepts. But we aren't there yet. The series is just barely halfway done.
Transferring a human consciousness into a robot. At least in the first 2 episodes, we don't even get questions like, what's the nature of consciousness? Is Marcy, who is now Wendy, still alive? Or
yes, well, they do later. You see, this is why just criticizing a show before it's complete is really fucking bad faith. Like, he's criticizing stuff that the series absolutely does.
Was that just a copy of her mind in a robot? To be fair, maybe...
Yeah, that's a good fucking question that the series has fucking asked, and we do not have a clear answer.
Maybe we'll find out later, because this show is...
the Mystery Box.
And how is Joe gonna...
Okay, so, listen. J.J. Abrams does have the habit of mystery boxing stuff. And if a lot of these questions go unanswered, I'll give it to you. But the fact is, he mystery boxes stuff and then doesn't have clear answers set up. He just does the mystery box. If they have clear answers set up throughout this series that get revealed, it's not a fucking mystery box. You're misusing what he's talking about. Yeah, the eyeball thing is scary as fuck. Yeah.
Feel when he finally realizes his little sister that he thought was dead is in a robot body. That's a great opportunity for some good drama. He would probably be horrified and angry, and you could spend the entire season with him trying to reconcile with this robot that...
Okay, well, the fact is he was kind of freaked out, but then he was just happy to have his sister back, as I think most people would be. It's like, holy shit, I thought you were dead. Oh my god, you're back. Fuck yeah. Like when somebody you care about and you think they're gone, and then you find out that they're not gone, that's like, that'd be like magical, man. Shit.
It's talking like his sister, something to the effect of he's forced to work with her, but he hates her guts, even though she's spouting back all the stuff his sister used to say, and eventually he comes to some form of acceptance. Either she is dead, but I'm okay with this copy, or she's still alive in there. You would think.
Okay, sure, they could do it that way, but they chose to do it where she does encounter him, and one of her hybrid friends. They're not supposed to tell family members and stuff who they are, but one of the hybrid friends who she's with just looks at him and goes, "Yeah, this is your sister." That was it. Which makes sense. Kids will do shit like that because these are kids. They're kids in adult bodies.
That, but no, it gets wrapped up pretty quickly.
That's your sister. Slightly secret. Joe, it's me.
These are kids in robot bodies, so yeah, they blurt shit like that.
I wouldn't.
No,
Yeah, he's really upset that they didn't have a scene where he discovers that it's his sister, and he's playing the fucking scene where that happens. My God. Yeah, I don't know what's up the redhead girl. Like, it's weird what's going on with her. Like, yeah, I'm kind of interested to see what goes on with her, but like, yeah. Not to get too far into spoilers, but yeah, that whole storyline's like, what the fuck is going on with you? I'm really excited to wrap up this series in a couple weeks.
Died. I went to the funeral. I understand.
I was always away. Joe.
Christmas morning, you were 7. You woke me up before.
2 minutes later, that's our time.
This, what did you say?
I still don't think my big toe looks like my thumb.
Yeah, how dare he be happy to get his sister back?
And that might be because he's possibly dead, because the alien who couldn't manage to catch him for the entire second episode because he had plot armor finally gets him after they discover a bunch of alien eggs. So ultimately, the first...
I guess spoiler, he doesn't get them. This is why fucking reviewing, like reviewing shit like this, you should just critique the first 2 episodes and how you enjoyed those first 2 episodes. Don't critique it because it doesn't explain everything, because the series isn't fucking done yet.
2 episodes anyway were a complete disappointment, and I was expecting more from Noah Hawley. It sacrifices any characterization for a very plodding plot, and it is most certainly a show made for secondary viewing. What is secondary viewing, you ask? Secondary viewing refers to the practice of using a second electronic device, typically a smartphone or tablet, while simultaneously watching content on a primary screen like a television or a computer. Yes, this is a thing. And that would explain everyone in this show repeatedly getting told stuff they already know, and more importantly, we already know.
It's like a zoo, but the animals got out.
It's a research vessel, deep space model. They must have been collecting specimens.
I mean, what gave it away?
You are aware that one is kind of the setup for what it is, and the other one is kind of expanding on what it is, right? It's a bit different information each time.
The giant spaceship you just walked through with all the research labs and all the escaped specimens. Then there was the exposition no one could possibly know.
Oh yeah, no, I think the brothers' time is short, but we'll see what happens. I think Bobby and I were talking about it. I haven't seen the 5th episode yet, so maybe this already happened, but we think very soon, probably the mother character, the woman who's helping take care of them, is likely to get offed. I think her time's going to come before the brother.
Creature, she's loose.
And I might already be wrong because 5th episode's out and I haven't seen it, but
How the hell did he know the alien was a she? Did he see those giant xenomorph calcium?
she pronouns are common when you don't know the gender. It's like calling a boat a she. It's a very common thing.
Cannons, and those are just 2 examples of the horrendous expository dialogue. The tech bro Boy Cavalier's plan with the 12-year-olds and robot bodies makes absolutely no sense. I mean, aside from sending them on a dangerous mission where you can break them, they explain his
He seems fairly confident that they won't break, and it seems like he was right, because as we've already seen, and as was already established in the series, the bodies are very resilient.
inspiration for putting the 12-year-olds in robot bodies, where he, again, essentially created immortality. As the show points out, an eternal consumer. Now,
we actually don't know if that's actually what he did. We're still learning about it, but potentially yes.
Has to be children's minds because they're more malleable than adults, which sets up some potential landmines as far as storytelling is concerned that we'll get to in just a moment. No, he created the 12-year-old in robot bodies who will live forever so he can have somebody smarter than him to talk to. A 12-year-old child.
Please have a seat right there.
I guess they could eventually mature, but you're going to have a long wait, bro, and there's no guarantee they're going to be smarter than you. This brings us to the potentials for storytelling with 12-year-olds in adult robot bodies. I'm not saying the story of a child in an adult body can't be told. Hell, there's thousands of them out there. We have Shazam. We have Big. Okay, that might not have been the best example. Just want to remind everybody that this is a Disney product. And in another Disney product, Peter Pan, Wendy does start having feelings for him. Ugh. Well, there's nothing like that yet, but there is this little piece of dialogue.
Why don't you have kids?
Well, we tried to have kids, but I have a low sperm count. Sperm. Funny word.
I mean, who in the hell says
that wasn't Boy Cavalier? Fucking weird.
That to a 12-year-old, but I guess to be fair to the show, it kind of goes along with not just the horrendous expository dialogue, the horrendous dialogue that runs throughout it. This brings us to another interesting concept that so far they've completely fumbled, being on civilized Earth in the Alien franchise. And apparently it's idiocracy.
You are aware, like, arguing that they haven't fully exploited the concept is weird considering it's not done yet.
Now, I'm sure some of you will say, rightly so, by the way, that, hey, I just want to see xenomorphs killing people. And quite frankly, I'm rooting for the xenomorph in this one. And you really wouldn't be wrong, partially because you're the customer and you're never wrong. But yes, Alien has been reduced to what Jurassic Park / World is now for a long time. And that's the era we're in. Reimaginations turn.
Okay, so Alien Romulus and Alien Earth are much better than the past few Jurassic World movies. Let's be real. Much better.
To regurgitations, which make slop. Now, call me naive or old-fashioned. I'd still prioritize maybe telling a good story, moving it forward instead of trying to.
Well, I think Alien Earth is a very good story. Alien Romulus was entertaining, but Alien Earth so far is excellent.
Shoehorn it into canon. For example, that gun that can stun an alien used by cyborg Captain Hook probably would have come in handy in the future films. And a bunch of warrior hybrids.
All right, but like, there's no reason to think there's any contact between this and the first ship, which is in deep space during this time period.
Super soldiers probably would have been a nice thing to have in Aliens.
And they had really fucking good guns in fucking Aliens.
I'm positive there'll be some stupid explanation like they did in Star Trek Discovery when they had to explain away the reason why Spock had a human black female foster sister that he never talked about. By the way, they said she's classified. And I'm just scratching the surface on the tech and the concept.
So like, you get upset when they introduce concepts but don't explain why those concepts aren't established later. And then when a series does explain why that concept isn't discussed later, you complain about that. There is no fucking consistency with these guys. It's ridiculous.
They already introduced that are going to create problems in something that comes before Alien and Aliens, and they still have 6 episodes to go. Now, Noah Hawley said...
Okay, yeah, that's what I was wondering. You've seen this first 2, okay.
Is essentially one of the messages in Alien Earth is, do humans deserve to live?
We have combined this story of humanity facing this existential threat, both from biological monsters and from synthetic artificial intelligence, which always raises the question, does humanity deserve to survive?
After watching this, humans don't deserve to write. As I've said before, this era of reimagination regurgitation is just human AI, which is ironic because Hollywood's biggest fear is AI. A lot of the themes you're going to see in a lot of movie and TV shows are going to be about AI, and they're going to...
Wow. Hollywood doing stuff where AI is the villain? It's never fucking done that before.
Feel like they were written by AI, but maybe I'm just misunderstanding this high work of art, and thanks to the media literacy crowd with pronouns in their bios,
the media literacy crowd. So Gary, if you're not part of the media literacy crowd, are you stating that you're media illiterate? Because if you're stating that, then I agree.
I'm going to be put in my place, because the Alien franchise has always been about the body, its boundaries, its vulnerabilities, its transformations. Alien Earth reframes this through a sharp...
This is absolutely true. I mean, in fact, the writers have been very clear. The first movie is about rape. Absolutely about rape. When you think about, look at it in that context. Yep.
Queer-coded lens.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
Now, I might not be the sharpest tool in the shed, but that's a bold statement, saying a show about 12-year-old children stuffed in adult robot bodies is queer-coded.
Please have a seat.
Children can be queer. You know, queer doesn't necessarily mean having sex, right? Queer doesn't mean having sex. That is, like, why? Like, that's the only thing I can think of you're assuming when you say that. That doesn't mean that at all.
Right there.
Anyway, we'll see if the show rallies and it actually gets good, but as it stands right now, there are still only 2 Alien movies, Alien and Aliens, and 0 TV shows.
Nerdrotic.com.
Okay. So if he doesn't like it, he's allowed to dislike it. That's fine. Anybody's allowed to dislike it. I personally thought it was great so far. Let's see how it wraps up. I'm excited to see what it does. I doubt it's going to disappoint considering how good it's been so far. That being said, like, his review is non-fucking sensical half the time. Like, he knows that these are kids in robot bodies, but he's complaining about the actors acting like kids when that's the fucking role they're playing. He spends half the review just complaining that's an interquel, despite the fact that it's standalone and you can watch it without watching anything else in the fucking franchise and still understand what's going on. He's upset that Boy Cavalier is an amalgamation of rich assholes when... What's the issue with that? Why would that be a problem? There's so much here to break down. It's so bad. Oh, yeah, and he also admits he's media illiterate. I think that's the takeaway we should take from this video. Gary is media illiterate. And dude, I agree with you. You are media illiterate. You're a fucking idiot, and you're a dipshit grifter. But yeah, I was interested to see what he says in that video. That was dreadful. That was a dreadful fucking review.
Because I can live with it. I can live with it.